Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to revise the process of chemical digestion in human beings in brief. In previous few videos, we have already discussed this entire process of digestion in human beings in detail. Okay, so let's quickly revise the process of digestion in human beings. We already know that in human digestive system, we have an alimentary canal which is around 9 meters long and it has various parts. And this alimentary canal begins from mouth. Okay, so when we take food, we actually take food inside our body through our mouth. Now mouth is the first part of the alimentary canal and the juice which is secreted in mouth is called saliva. Okay, we already know that we have three pairs of salivary gland, okay, in our mouth or in our in our nearby our jaws. So we have three pairs of salivary gland. This we have already discussed in previous videos, and these salivary glands, they secrete saliva. Inside saliva, an enzyme is present called amylase. Okay, amylase helps in digestion of starch. So the substrate molecule for amylase enzyme is starch, and after the digestion of starch, the product formed is maltose. Okay. Now remember, we have discussed about three categories of enzymes: carbohydrates, protease, and lipase. Okay, so all these three, carbohydrates, protease, and lipase, these three helps in digestion of different nutrients present in our food. So carbohydrates, as the name suggests, it helps in digestion of various types of carbohydrates. Protease helps in digestion of proteins, and lipase helps in digestion of fats. So amylase is actually a type of carbohydrates enzyme because it helps in digestion of polysaccharide, that is carbohydrate called starch, and starch gets digested into maltose. Remember, maltose is not the simplest form of carbohydrate, it is a disaccharide. So still maltose required to undergo digestion by another enzymes. Okay. From mouth, the food goes to esophagus. We know that in mouth, teeth and tongue are present. So teeth helps in crushing and grinding of the food, and tongue helps in mixing saliva with food and forming the bolus. So this bolus of the food we swallow and it goes into the esophagus. Throughout esophagus, no chemical digestion occurs. Another process called peristalsis takes place in esophagus. Okay. Through this process, the walls of alimentary canal, they move, they make wave-like contractions to push the food down throughout the alimentary canal. After esophagus, the food goes to next part of the alimentary canal called stomach. Stomach is an important organ because this is a part where food stays for almost 4 to 5 hours, and stomach is actually a bag-like organ. Okay, this is actually the bag-like organ of the organ of the alimentary canal called stomach. Now in stomach, the juice secreted is called gastric juice. Okay, gastric juice, where it is made? Gastric juice is made in the pits in wall of stomach. Okay, so we have wall of stomach. In wall of stomach, we have different cells, and we also have certain pits like this. Okay, so inside these pits, actually, cells are present which secrete gastric juice. Now in gastric juice, we have two types of enzymes. Okay, the first one is known as pepsin. So pepsin is an enzyme which actually helps in digestion of proteins. But remember, pepsin do not digest protein completely into amino acids. Okay, pepsin is the enzyme which helps in digestion of protein into polypeptides. Okay, it helps in digestion of protein into polypeptides. Okay, and apart from this, only the young mammals, including human beings, only in young mammals, another enzyme is present which is called renin. So renin actually helps in digestion of milk protein, the protein which is present in the milk. Okay, so it helps in curdling the milk protein so that it can easily undergo digestion. So pepsin helps in digestion of proteins in polypeptide chains, and renin enzyme, which is present only in the infants or in the young mammals, helps in digestion of milk protein. Okay, milk protein which is called casein. Other substance which is present in gastric juice is hydrochloric acid. We have already discussed about this. This hydrochloric acid is required because this pepsin enzyme which is present in gastric juice can function only in acidic conditions. The optimum pH for working of pepsin enzyme is 2. Okay, so hydrochloric acid actually provides this optimum pH for better functioning of pepsin enzyme. Apart from this, another important function of hydrochloric acid is to kill any bacteria or pathogen present in the food which we are consuming. Okay, so if we are consuming any food and in that food there is any pathogen or any bacteria present, so that bacteria will get killed in the hydrochloric acid. After stomach, the food goes to the small intestine. We already know that there are two parts of small intestine, duodenum and ileum. Okay, so the first part of small intestine is known as duodenum. In duodenum, there are two types of juices released. Okay, the first juice is pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice is made in pancreas. Pancreas is the leaf-like organ present just below the stomach. Okay, for example, if this is stomach, so under stomach, a leaf-like organ is present, which is called pancreas. Pancreas can be called an organ as well as it's a gland because it also releases hormones. About this hormones we'll learn in detail in further units. Okay, so pancreatic juice is made in a pancreas, and in pancreas we have actually three types of enzymes: amylase, trypsin, and lipase. Okay, so this amylase helps in digestion of starch into maltose, because in our mouth the food stays for very lesser time. Okay, it stays for very less time. So if there's any starch left in the food, okay, so that starch still requires to undergo digestion. So that starch will be digested by amylase, and this amylase is now secreted by pancreatic juice. So remember, in entire human alimentary canal, amylase is secreted at two places, one in mouth and one in pancreas, okay, in duodenum. So amylase digests starch into maltose. Trypsin is a protease which helps in digestion of protein. In stomach, pepsin was released. Pepsin is also a protease enzyme. So trypsin digests proteins into polypeptides chain. Okay, and lipase is a fat digesting enzyme. So it digests fat into fatty acids and glycerol. In pancreatic juice, other substance which was present is sodium hydrogen carbonate. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is actually an alkali, or it's a base. Okay, what is the function? The food which comes from stomach to duodenum is actually acidic. Okay, why it is acidic? Because in stomach hydrochloric acid was released. Okay, so this sodium hydrogen carbonate, which is actually a base, reacts with the acid present in the food and neutralizes it. Okay, and makes it, like, it neutralizes it and increases the pH. Okay, so so that these three enzymes, amylase, trypsin, and lipase, can function in proper way. The next one is bile juice. This bile juice is produced by liver and it is stored in gallbladder. Okay, so this bile juice is produced by liver. Okay, and it is temporarily stored in gallbladder. And in bile juice, no enzymes are present. Bile juice actually helps in the mechanical, or you can say physical, breakdown of the food. Okay, in our food, fat is present and fat molecules are very large in size. Okay, so what this bile juice does, this bile juice actually helps in emulsifying the fat. Okay, emulsifying fat means the large globules of fat are broken down into smaller globules, so that enzymes, that is lipase, so that fat digesting enzyme, that is lipase, can easily act on this. So the purpose of emulsification of fat is to increase surface area for the process of chemical digestion. So in bile juice we have this bile salts which helps in emulsification of fat, and bile pigments are present. Okay, these bile pigments are actually excretory products. Then the second part of duodenum is ileum. Okay, so in ileum, the process of chemical digestion gets over. Okay, so this is the second part of small intestine where the process of chemical digestion gets completed. Okay, so in ileum, no juice is secreted. Remember this, in ileum no juice is secreted. In ileum actually we have microscopic villi. Okay, we have finger-like projections called villi. About this we are going to learn in the next video. And the outermost layer of cells of this villi, these villi are actually one cell thick. Okay, so the layer of cells which is present around this villi, okay, so these cells actually produces enzymes. Okay, and these enzymes are directly released into the ileum. Okay, so no juice is released, enzymes remain in or on the cells covering the villi and are directly released into the ileum. And these enzymes are made by what? These enzymes are made by cells covering the villi. This is obvious because villi is one cell thick and all these enzymes are present here. Now the enzymes which are present in this ileum is, one is maltase. Maltase digests maltose into glucose. Now here remember, the starch first gets digested into maltose by amylase, and then this maltose gets digested into glucose by maltase. Sucrase enzyme helps in digestion of sucrose into glucose and fructose. Sucrose is a sugar which is present in, it's a carbohydrate which is present in sugar which we consume, the white sugar or sugarcane juice. Okay. Lactase helps in digestion of lactose sugar into glucose and galactose. Lactose is actually a sugar which is present in milk. Then peptidase or peptidase. Okay, peptidase helps in digestion of polypeptide chains into amino acids. And again, lipase is released, which helps in digestion of fats into fatty acids and glycerol. So in ileum, the process of chemical digestion gets completed. The next part of the alimentary canal is large intestine, where actually no digestion occurs, but only the absorption of water and absorption of some of the vitamins or minerals happen. Okay, so remember, all of the digestive juices, they contain water and mucus. Okay, digestive juices means pancreatic juice, gastric juice. Okay, in saliva, saliva is released in mouth, that also contains water and mucus. Now this water is present in digestive juices because water is used for digestion of large molecules to the small ones, and it is also a solvent for nutrients and enzymes. Mucus actually acts as a lubricant, and it also forms the covering over the inner surface of the alimentary canal, preventing enzymes from digesting the cells. So in next video we are going to discuss about absorption of food.